We're the Nova Scotia Securities Commission. One of our mandates is to protect investors from investment fraud and scams. March is Fraud Prevention Month, and throughout the month we'll be discussing some prevalent investment frauds and how investors can recognize them and protect themselves. Today we're looking at what is a Ponzi scheme. You may be familiar with the term Ponzi scheme. Do you know what it is? How it works? Pop culture uses Ponzi schemes frequently in movies and television shows like Tower Heist, The Wizard of Lies, Leverage, and Archer. That doesn't mean they always get it right though. Meet Charles Ponzi. In the early 1920s, Ponzi concocted a scheme using stamps and told investors he could deliver extremely high returns. He had a steady flow of investors lined up to invest in his scheme. The problem was his scheme wasn't viable and couldn't work. So instead of investing people's money, Ponzi paid them back with portions of their own money and kept the rest for himself. Investors thought they were getting a great return on their investment, but they really weren't. Ponzi bilked his investors out of an estimated $20 million, which today would be worth around $246 million. At one point, he was taking in $250,000 per day. So how did Ponzi do it? And how did it all fall apart? Let's talk about how a Ponzi scheme works. Some are looking for investors and will offer up a major investment opportunity and promise over-the-top returns that other investments can't match. For example, if you invest with me, I'll get you 50% return in 6 months. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it is. But despite that, you give me $1,000 anyway, and in 6 months, I come back and give you $500 as promised. My investment opportunity looks like a tremendous success, except it's really not. Your money was never invested. I simply paid you with a portion of the money you gave me. By doing so, I've gained your trust and made you believe my investment was legit. This will keep you investing with me, and hopefully get you to bring some friends or family in on the investment as well. So now I've got more people investing money with me. They tell 2 friends, who tell their friends, and so on and so on. As long as I have money coming in to pay my investors, the Ponzi scheme continues. If I'm really smart, maybe I can talk some of my investors into reinvesting their profits. Then I don't have to pay anyone. I just simply hand out phony statements. The problem is, with no money being invested, no money is being made. So when the influx of new money stops, there's no money left to pay investors. The money that wasn't paid back to investors wasn't just sitting there after all. I was spending on whatever I wanted. Cars, trips, boats, jewelry. Or I hid it all away and one day just vanished. When the money stops, the Ponzi scheme collapses and everyone is left holding an empty bag. No investment, no money, no savings. Just angry, disappointed investors. To avoid falling victim of a Ponzi scheme or other investment fraud, always remember the red flags of investment fraud. 1. You are promised a high return for low risk. There is no such thing as a low risk, high return investment. 2. You must act now. You're given no time to think it over and are pressured to invest now or never. 3. You're being given insider or secret information. How will you verify the secret information? If it truly is insider info, it could be illegal. 4. Is the investment legitimate? Can you find corroborating evidence from a credible source? 5. You're required to give direct payment to the investment seller. Once you hand over your money, a credit card, check, or even something cryptocurrency to a fraudster, you'll likely never see it again. When you're dealing with anyone in the business of offering investments, always check their registration. Anyone selling and advising in investments are required by law to be registered with their local securities regulator. You can check registration by going to www.arethéregistered.ca. And remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. To learn more about the Nova Scotia Securities Commission and other investor education topics, please visit our website at nssc.novascotia.ca and follow us on Twitter at NSS Commission.